Hey, it's TuxBird, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special video. Today, I have an ETF member here. Say hello to the video, Frankie.
Hello.
So, guys, yes, this is Frankyeets. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a very, very devout PS4 player and Division player as well. He has over 20,000 rogue kills on PS4, and he was at one time the best PlayStation 4 player in terms of being rogue and killing rogues as well. So he's got a lot of credibility behind him here, and he was invited to the ETF back in ETF 2 back in early January, and he got to see the early builds of 1.6 and stuff like that, and he's got a lot of stuff that he has to tell us today. We're going to ask him a few questions. It's going to be a really, really chill interview. And I also have Snake here if anybody cares. Say hello, Snake.
Kill yourself.
Got it. Alright, we're ready. So, Frankie, we know that you went to the ETF, obviously. So, I want to ask you, how was your experience there?
I will never trade that experience for anything in this world. I appreciate it because it was my passion, and I'm excited.
You're excited? So I know that there's a lot of 1.6 stuff that you guys couldn't, tell us, over about the last week, but all this stuff is kind of coming together here. So what do you think, in your opinion, is your favorite part about all this new stuff that's coming?
Last Stand. Definitely Last Stand because it's organized PvP. I'm excited because this is uniting PvP and PvP. This game mode is going to be the edge that Division needed. I feel like it's a very special game mode where everyone can be involved. If you have different kind of styles, it's definitely a game mode where you want to be.
Alright, that sounds pretty cool. I know all of us can't wait to play it too, because I mean, seriously, I kind of need a better PvP experience, because I suck at Dark Zone PvP. Anyways, okay, so back to the ETF, right? So I know that you probably have never met any of the people that you met there before, but like in terms of like meeting the other ETF members that were there, I know that like Butter went, I know that Gamer Insanity went, we got Eker as well, all the content creators, we had, I believe, Denty
Smoke.
and...
Denty.
Yep.
Yeah, don't forget Smoke and Denty.
So what was it like meeting all of them as well? For the first time.
They are very great people. They're amazing people because they shared the same passion as me. We all had loud voices. We all interpret our own voice because we all have different type of community crowds. And there was also PvEers, hardcore PvE people there that were completely opposite of me, and was the reason why I liked it so much. Was after the game mode, I went up to him and I asked him how he liked the Dark Zone, how do you like the game mode, and he said it was exciting, it was different, he actually felt like he had a chance, and it was just a very good feeling because honestly that's more prey for me, as negative as that sounds, but I need people to kill because I know everybody that I hop in the server with, and it's just not a fun situation.
Yeah, I get it. And I know that, like, Last Stand is supposed to cater to both PvP and PvEers, and, in the PTS as well, they're going to be testing gear normalization, so, people who regularly can't do well in the Dark Zone right now, maybe they'll have a fighting chance in Last Stand, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. So, one of the most talked about changes in 1.6 is the fact that named weapons are being turned into exotic weapons, and there's a new, drop color, they're red now. So, what I'm going to ask you is, out of all of, like, the named weapons, like, see, there are a few that we don't know about. I know that when they talked about the Hungry Hog and its glutton talent, they talked about the Tenebrae, and we know about the Valkyria, the Hilder, and Ear. But, give us, like, a little insight on what we should expect about, like, the other named weapons. Something, like the Liberator, the Caduceus, what do we have? We have Historian, and all of the other ones. You could tell us, like, their perk. I know you guys can do that, so I don't know.
The named weapons, I wasn't part of that group, but I do know a little bit about it. The Historians is literally very OP, as in, like, it's literally 1.1 explosive round type of impact, M44, if you catch my drift. The Valkyrie is going to be changed to the twin something, etc. I'm not sure because I wasn't part of that group, but it was tested on me myself, and like Butter shot a couple crits, switched guns, and then melted me to the point where my green was popped within a second. So
So you
That's
said that he
something-
switched guns right there, right? So does it like, do they work off of each other if you have both of them equipped?
Absolutely. Main weapons are pretty much like, as an example, gear sets like 4-piece will only activate that. So as in one Valkyrie, I will use it and then switch to its twin, and it'll activate that one, and then you have switch back and it'll activate that Valkyrie. If you understand that.
So like you'll keep stacking damage and stuff like that, correct?
It's depending on the perks, where some are, damage, and the others are to reduce skill, for an example. And like the Caduceus, the Midas, the Caduceus heals your whole group, and there's like so much, like the Warlord, where you're shooting, you're getting every shot that you're hitting is a 20% damage resilience, but as soon as you stop shooting, all that damage hits you at once, so you have to make sure you have a heal at all times when using that Warlord. So there is a huge, increase in power, but there's also always going to be a balance of negative, things. So that's something also to worry about.
Okay, that sounds really cool. So, like you said, all of the named weapons are going to have something that connects with them that activates that unique talent, correct?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So, another weapon that I believe I asked about was the Liberator. Do you have any experience, using that?
Yeah, I used the Liberator. I believe that matching gun is a named pistol that you got back in after General Assembly, I believe.
Okay.
I forgot what it was.
The Damascus?
No, it's like starts with a C. I'm sorry.
So the Centurion, right?
Yeah, there you go. That pistol.
Okay.
And I forgot what you have to do, or I think it was, but it creates something to the point where the Liberator's rate of fire is increased. I think if you gain a kill off of something, I'm not too sure. I wasn't part of that group, but I know that it has something to do with increasing the rate of fire of the Liberator, and we all know rate of fire is very OP.
Really important, right? That's why the M4s were super good in 1.5, and we had like the MP7 back then too.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So I really can't wait to, use named weapons, because, I have none of them right now. So hopefully I get lucky and stuff, too, with the exotic drops. So, moving back, moving into the Dark Zone now. I know that a lot of the focus on, like, the DLC and stuff when you guys were there, was Last Stand, like, the organized PvP. But we're going to go back to the Dark Zone. Did you play it all in the, the expanded Dark Zone 7 through 9? And what were your experiences with it, if you did?
It was like it was insanely detailed. It was amazing. We called it DC North. That is the name for it.
Dark Zone North.
7 through 9. That's what it's called. It's called DC North, and it's very more challenging. And there's spots where you don't want to engage because it's a lot of open space, and then there's places where like you can go to like landmarks in the beginning stages of it, or there's just so much different type of style in the DZ 7 through 9, which is very exciting to me, because when I was going road catching my manhunts at the ETF, it was absolutely great, because there was literally one safe room that I know it's going to be absolutely popping. So
yeah. So you were talking about how like PvP felt like a little bit different to you. Like I know that in the live streams they talked about how there was like a lot of like interior spots and roof spots as well that people could fight on. And it's more based around like the verticality of the Dark Zone rather than just having like a set area to run around like the lower Dark Zones. So, when you were PvPing and stuff and you were doing your manhunts at the ETF, do you feel like you used, like, the interiors and the roofs? Do you feel like that changed the way that you fought?
Absolutely, because there was places where I would climb, and they would have to also climb, and then while they're climbing, I'm just literally spraying them down and melting them. And it's, like, there's so much, like, there's literally very different, unique places that I find, like, if I make a video on it, because we can't obviously be in Dark Zone 7 through 9 at the moment, but there's a lot of different spots where you're going to want to fight, because it's like it's going to appeal to you, because the spot is going to be more of you're going to notice it that it's more built for PvP type of an area, more than it's like then begins. Obviously there's always NPCs everywhere, but there's going to be a little less of it, and you're going to see you're able to cut your corners a little bit better depending on which location you're at.
That sounds really awesome. And I know that there was, we read about it too, that how the landmarks in Dark Zone 7 through 9 had waves. Did you have any experience with that?
Absolutely. There's actually, I believe, 2 of them, or I'm not too sure. I think it's just one of them. I'm not positive. I didn't go to all the landmarks, but basically, there's a new landmark where there's multiple waves of enemies spawning after you kill, like, the NPC enemy, which is, clearing that landmark will now reward you additional loots, and they're very, like, easy to fulfill a 9 bag. So that's
even
very
after
exciting.
like those single landmarks.
Pretty like this landmark is built pretty much like Falcon Loss.
Okay, so like waves, and how they keep on coming at you.
And it's gonna be a new name. It's gonna be the same, like the name boss coming out. I'm not sure if it's like new name bosses, because you know me, I didn't really go there to PvE, but
Right.
I saw one of my friends and I asked him about it, and he said it was very unique. It was very cool because he was a hardcore PvE guy, and he said he filled up a 9 bag and got 2 exotic off of that wave one. So that's
man,
definitely
that
something
sounds
to keep
really
on
awesome.
definitely something to keep in your head.
All right. So another Dark Zone thing that was talked about and added into 1.6 was contamination events, which are supposed to be like the substitute for, well, not the substitute, but, an extra thing that happens hourly in the Dark Zone, like Dark Zone supply drops do. So what were like the rewards like when you did a contamination event, and, how did it work when you played it?
It's very similar to the supply drops, and they're very different. It's pretty much level 4 level I believe
5.
so. We only have level 5. Yeah, we don't have level 5, as you
Yes.
guys know. So that's definitely something to keep on your mind, and your health always gets chopped away little by little after, the contamination dulls down a little bit. It's definitely like a supply drop where I feel like it's going to be a lot more PvPing going on because you guys are all going to want to fight for the loot.
Right?
It's definitely something to keep in mind because I believe when I did it the first time, I got an exotic weapon. My first time was actually from that event, so...
Oh, wow.
And that was probably my only exotic throughout, instead of just stealing it.
So, alright, so you just said that, in the Dark Zone 2, we could get exotics, right? As like a drop.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty neat. And they are red, right? The exotic drops? They drop as red items?
Yeah, they're like reddish-orange. Yep, reddish-orange.
So another thing that you guys probably did was, playing the legendary difficulty for the 3 missions, the Times Square, Warren Gate, and the Napalm production site. What was your experience in playing legendary mode? Like, I know it's supposed to be the hardest content in the game, but do you think it lives up to it?
Absolutely. Because we all know my kind of style of PvP. I will run up to you and just try to take you out.
Yeah.
And for me trying to do that on these NPCs, let me tell you, I ran up to 3 shotgunners and got folded in 2 seconds. Not even 1 second. My character's back broke. Folded like a soft taco. I'm not lying. And
oh no.
It's literally to the point where I had to switch to my AR build into a sniper build because I was so terrified to even try to go head up with these guys because they are a new fraction. They're a new fraction of enemies that are very difficult because they act like hunters. They are so smart, and some certain ones I believe can heal up, which is
so you said something like Hunter AI, how they only shoot at you sparingly when they have enough cover to do so. They don't go out of cover. They'll try to jump cover to cover. They'll try to flank you. Do they act like that?
They literally move as it's literally playing PvP in a PvE situation. It's honestly insane. I never, the way they play was so much more advanced to the point where me and my team could not handle it. We got to the second part of the mission and we died. And after that, we just tried to go do the incursion. And I found myself not even playing the game because I was ready to rage quit. And you can
Oh
ask
man.
like butter, the man
So
himself.
the man himself. So you did say that it was super hard content, but I also heard that you can also get exotic caches. It's like a once a week thing, kind of like how Nightfalls work in Destiny. You think that, after you complete, the legendary mission for the week, you think that, getting that exotic drop would be kind of worth your time?
Uh, to be honest with you guys, this is aimed for the PV hardcore like the PVE hardcore players, and it's such a different feel. Like I don't enjoy PVE until 1.5, and because I've always been a PvPer, but
Right?
me playing that, the challenge and like putting your mind to it to try to complete it, and like it was so fulfilling in my like itch of trying to find something very difficult that's in front of me and trying to conquer it. So that
That
is
sounds
very
like fun.
absolutely. And just from a PvP point of view, like for a PvP, strict PvP player saying that, I feel like you guys are going to be extremely happy with this, and I'm excited. Very excited.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people also wanted harder content too, and they felt like back in 1.3, it's like adding more health to enemies doesn't exactly make it harder. People wanted smarter tactics from the NPCs. So I'm pretty sure we're all super excited to play the legendary missions. So next up is something that I'm personally super excited about. There's now different emotes that you can get, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
were there any emotes that you got to play with or use, I should say, at the ETF that you really loved?
yeah, my setup was the rock, paper, scissors, was the backflip, the mic drop, and like the Rocky Balboa kind of fight, like you want to fight, buddy. And
Like like a boxing stance, like a fighting stance?
yeah, it's like his. You can see his hand, like
Yeah.
like you want to fight, buddy. Like what's going
Like,
on?
square up, dude,
Like,
square up.
what's your beef? And it was the mic drop. There was a teabag one.
Oh, man.
There's just so different. There were so many of them that I just like didn't have enough time to like put them on. So they were definitely they were definitely hilarious. Like you guys have no idea. There's a lot. There's some toxic, but there's some very like unique ones in there, which I look forward to using myself. I'm pretty sure like my mic drop one was my favorite one. The backflip. Every
Yeah.
time I killed somebody, I did a backflip on them, and
That sounds so fun. So, I take it when you head back, when 1.6 drops in the Dark Zone, I take it, I'm going to be seeing you doing some flips to the people that you kill while you're rogue?
absolutely. It's definitely hilarious. They have so much different type of emotes. Like they're very like you're. We're not never gonna see the clap. Probably we're never gonna see those jumping jacks anymore because the ones that they came out with are fire. I'm excited to even have them.
Yeah.
And there's just so much different ones you can choose from. So and not everyone's gonna be the same, and that's what I love is that 1.6 aimed for diversity, which is
Right.
something I was stressing through my, stream every time. I was like, this game is not diverse. Everyone's always rocking the same thing, and everything just
Right.
seems repetitive.
Right. So on a more serious note, on that, to segue into the next topic, regarding diversity and stuff, I know that that Alpha Bridge got a nerf, and, a lot of people are going to be happy about that, and, that brings up, other sets, and they're coming in. So first I want to start off with the new gear set, Seeker, and then we'll go on about how you think the other gear sets that pre-exist, how they're going to perform in 1.6 as compared to 1.5. So to start off, Seeker, what are your thoughts on it?
Seeker is a OP set. Your
OP?
body
Straight
damage
up?
is being, yeah. It's well they nerfing it because we obviously I exploited it. I you know did what I
Yeah.
did, and they realized. Well, one, Frankyeets, you're OP, so they did tell me that. Two, I was like, why am I hitting these kind of crits? Three, the numbers were pretty high, so I expressed my feelings about it. And
Yep.
when I was using it, I felt very strong with my DPS.
Yep.
Like I felt like I could go like aim towards toughness and like not really worry about it because two shots, if I hit two consecutive two shots to the body, which is pretty easy, your third crit is the like a high crit. So
Okay. So that's the 4-piece, right? 2 body shots and you get a crit on the third if
uh-huh.
they're if they hit. Okay.
Yeah. So you could basically hit two body shots and then a headshot and that'll be a crit. So
Oh man. So okay. All right. So I can see that that's going to be a point of contention with the PTS and stuff. People are going to have to see how that works and stuff, but I'm curious to see how it works out. Now, on to the Alpha Bridge nerf. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
they had weapon damage on Alpha Bridge, which I strongly express that I did not like because weapon damage is extremely OP, and whatever you do to Alpha Bridge, the change is gonna always be OP if you still have the weapon damage. So I think
So the
he's gonna
3-piece.
yeah, I believe they're going to
Okay.
fix that. I'm not too sure if they listened to me or not, but I expressed hardly and I kept it repeating like constantly that that is very OP because in 1.3 you would not run crit damage, you would run weapon damage on your
Right.
shotgun. And
Right.
what Alpha Bridge basically is now is a four-piece talent, and we all know talents in general are OP depending on which one you guys have.
Right.
And just an extra talent can make a huge difference. So pretty much what it does is you can have 2,000 firearms and still have all, or even zero firearms and still have your talent unlocked, which I find
So you
semi
say
kind of.
so you're saying that so what people don't know about the Alpha Bridge nerf is that so what they did is instead of giving you all the 6 talents, you now only get the free talent of the second gun. But like Frankie just said, it removes all of the requirements for the talents on your guns. So see if you have something like competent, right, Frankie? Like, the super high electronics ones, right? That there are no requirements for it if you're alpha bridging the gun. So, go on. So like you were talking about how you didn't have to run any firearms and yet you still retain those talents, right?
There's actually still 4 talents that you're able to require, so it's also another thing that to keep in mind. So I was having like competent and adapt and talented just to see if it was working, if it wasn't bugged or etc. And
Yeah.
I had all 3 unlocked, so that is something
And
to think
I take
about.
it you weren't running electronics either, and those are super high electronics
Nope.
talents. All
Yep.
right, that's
Nope.
super cool. So, do you think that, with that new information that we have, do you think that the Alpha Bridge nerf was, like, enough to make it unusable, or do you think it's still going to be usable, but it's going to be balanced?
If they listen to me on taking that weapon damage off, that
Yeah.
3-piece, it could be a good piece to wear, as in if you want a tank, but if it's just like there's gonna be a lot of diversity because there is the Seeker, there is the Reclaimer, which is a support build. There's
Right?
all these different type of Predator, and they're all making a name for themselves. And Banshee possibly can also come back as well. And those are
Okay.
also like there's gonna be a huge balance. I feel if the weapon damage is taken off Alpha Bridge.
We also know that armor is not going to be a rollable stat anymore, so, it's going to be based on your stamina and your health that is rolled too. And, when you were PvPing, how do you think that, not having to worry about armor anymore, did you think that was a good change that they did?
It was a great change because we're not going to have people running around in circle, just hitting 2,000 crits after someone pops a booster shot. So,
Right.
you
You
know,
know?
like people that I asked, and that was the complete opposite of me. Because once I played the Dark Zone, the first person I went to was my man Robert, that only PVEs and
Right.
never felt like he had a chance in the Dark Zone. And he was like, Frank, I knew I wasn't gonna kill you, but the fact is, I kind of felt like I had a sliver of chance, and that's made me feel good. Exact words, which made me feel very good because if he felt like he can go into the Dark Zone and enjoy himself as a PVE guy, that felt amazing. Because
That's
the Dark
very
Zone,
important.
because the Dark Zone was built for PVE, and then you can go PvP if you decide to go for the loot that they have. But loot is not scarce anymore, so there's
Right.
just killing fests all over the Dark Zone. So
Right. So, like you said, there's been a huge division, well, no pun intended, between between the player base, between I don't want to be in a dark zone where everybody wants to kill me just for my loot, and, even if they did, I never could feel like I could kill them because they obviously have been playing a lot more than me, and they're gonna have a super optimized build. So, like you said, maybe there's a chance for the players that don't play the game too much because of the changes that are coming to the gear, I mean. So that's going to be super fun, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. So I'm going to end it right there, and I want to ask you just, actually, I have one last question, just as a little funny one. Did you stroke Hamish's hair at all during the ETF?
I tried to.
You tried to? Okay, that's all that matters. Okay.
And his hair is, his and Yannick's hair are very beautiful in person. Extremely
man, I could only imagine, man. That must have been who cares about the ETF, right? You just got to experience their follicles in the flesh.
I hugged them every single chance I had. I hugged them every chance. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god, this just got weird. This got weird so fast.
I looked into Hamish's eyes and he called me adorable.
Oh no. Okay. So I'm gonna end it right there so we don't get super weird into this. So So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I want to thank you, Frankie, for coming on to this interview, and I hope you had a good time. I certainly did, and I hope people that are watching too, made some sense out of a lot of the chaos that's been going around with all this new information. So yeah, I want to thank you for coming, Frankie. You are a beast. I can't wait for all this stuff to happen, and I can't wait for, the benefits of, that come with you being such a nice guy to all of your subscribers, and I hope your channel does well, too, on Twitch as well as YouTube. So I wish the best of luck to you in the future, man. It was great having you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, so like I said, guys, that is the end of it. Frankie, love you, man. So I'm gonna end the video right there. Thank you guys for watching the video, and if you guys enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like. It always helps me out. Thank you guys. You guys are the best subscribers on planet Earth, and so is Frankie. He's a part of the TuxBird squad, as you guys may know. He's a big, this is why we're brothers. So with that being said, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. This has been TuxBird and Frankie.
Adios.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Love you guys.